are now plugged into Hooked on Sonics with Roots and Tone Capone.
And we're live.
For the morning to you, everybody, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Welcome to another fantastic edition of Hooked on Sonics. I am one of your two hosts, Bruce, and as always, everyone's leprechaun from another leprechaun, the Tone Capone. This week, we are finishing up our series of some of our favorite women artists. And we ended with a couple of bangers for sure. We've got Ruby the Hatchet's Fear is a Cruel Master, and Lady Day herself, Billie Holiday, with her album Lady in Satin. Of course, since it's St. Patty's Day, we'll be drinking something. We're going to get into what we've been listening to besides these great albums, and then um, obviously some music news and stuff. So before we can get into the meat and potatoes of everything, Tony, I see you're wearing green. Proud of you. Uh, Before that, did anyone pinch you? How are you? How's your butt?
Wore green all day, man. I had green on my tennis shoes earlier, and when I changed up for the show, just swapped out the hat and wearing my good old Nosferatu shirt. Ain't wore that in a while.
There you go.
Um, just chilling, man. It's a different kind of St. Patty's Day for me.
Hmm.
I've done many different kind of things over the years for St. Patty's Day. I know you remember my buddy Bill.
Of course.
So you've been at, I'm sure, some St. Patty's situation where me, Bill, and his brother would get together, and Bill's brother would dress up like a leprechaun because he's a smaller guy with red hair, and
Elvis.
Elvis, you darn right. I wanted, I wanted to see
I
if you could remember that,
I
man.
remember Elvis.
Yeah. So, with that being said, we've done a lot of cool things, drink a lot of Jameson and stuff over the years, but this is a little bit of a different St. Patty's Day for me. Kate and I, we are going on a journey together. For me uh, and for us in general, it's a weight loss journey in general. But uh, you'll be thrilled to know that I've had about 800 calories today,
Woo!
and that will be my life for the next upcoming foreseeable
TLC
future.
special, my 800 calorie life.
Dude, I'm going to tell you, man. Sometimes you get into some kind of dieting thing. We've
Hmm.
done we've done like fasting and juicing, and we've cut down to about 1,200 calories and stuff like that. And you
Hmm.
and you have some successes, right?
Hmm.
But sometimes you really got to break down and do some extreme things. And 800 calories is a very, like, we're talking 160 calories 5 times a day. But because we're doing it 5 times a day, it's just in enough in intervals to kind of keep our appetite somewhat satiated, however you want to pronounce it. My bad. But with that being said, I have a goal. I
Hmm.
personally, I don't know what my wife's goal is. It's up to her, whatever she wants to do. Whatever she's happy. I'm happy with her no matter what. However, for me, I have a goal of getting back down to about 250. I like my frame at 250. I like that I can still buy, a 3X concert shirt and fit in it comfortably at 250. If I get down to 225, cool. Um, but I don't see myself getting under 200. Um, I just don't think I would look good under 200. I don't want to
Well,
look,
listen,
I don't want to look sick.
right. I remember when we were in high school,
I was a
you were,
weightlifter, dude. I was a weightlifter.
yeah, but you
I,
were still like rail thin.
mhm.
You look emaciated. What were you,
eh,
a buck 30?
eh, eh, Later on after I got into the drugs for sure,
Yeah.
but I mean, I still, from the time I was 15 to the time I was 22, I was still, no, I worked out 14 to 22. I was a pretty consistent workout 14 to 22. And I remember 15, I maxed 350 at one point.
Nice.
So, and I mean, for 15 years old, that's a pretty good max. But I had that shoulder injury, and then,
Hmm.
well, first the wrist injury, and then the shoulder injury, and then I wasn't able to lift anything. Doctor's order said nothing more than 200 pounds. I pushed 225 one time to kind of press the issue, and it felt like my wrist was going to tear.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, so I don't play with that, but I've got to get used to the idea of if I do work out, I'm working out to trim down, not bulk up.
Hmm.
And that was the big thing for me. I would use heavier weights, less repetition, and now I've got to get used to the idea of less weight, more repetition. As a guy, as a human being in that kind of realm, the idea is, man, I want to be as big as I can, and I don't want to lift no little 10-pound weight. I don't lift no little 15-pound weight. But you know what I'm talking about. I got to
That's
be a
right.
man. I want to lift those 30s, like hammer those things. So I don't know, man. Looking forward to it. My goal is to get down to 250. I think I could be comfortable there. If I get to 225, great. I just don't see myself looking good under 200. It would look scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And listen, I'm all for losing weight, but I've seen a lot of people go through like a bariatric surgery and shit like that,
Hmm.
and they lose the weight, but they can't ever gain it back, and they look ill. They
Yeah.
look,
Dude, do you remember that Christian Bale movie, The Machinist?
yes, yes,
Oh,
dude, well, dude, and that's funny you even mentioned that.
that's my next goal.
I was talking to Kate, and I was like, I wonder if this program that we're like on isn't how Hollywood people cut weight quickly, because this chick on the phone told me, dude, she's like, listen, sir, how old are you, how big are you, blah blah blah. I said, I'm large, and I'm large. And she
Not
said,
in charge.
we've had guys of your age and of your stature lose anywhere between 60 to 90 pounds in 12 weeks on the program. If I lose 70, and I'm kind of giving you guys a hint of what I weigh over here, if I lose 70, I get down to 350 or 250. I only need to lose about 20 or 30 to be comfortably under 300.
Hmm.
But cutting down to 250 would be nice. I'd like to take a few inches off the waist. I like to be able to move a little more comfortably. And I don't know about you, but I enjoy my life with my grandkids, and I want to be around as long as I can because grandkids rock, dude.
They're fine.
Hey, no way,
I'm
dude. They're not fine.
just
They're the best, dude. They're the best. You know why?
mm,
Because you can
send
give
them
them back.
back.
Yeah.
Ah,
So, anyways, man, I wanted to ask you something. I heard something the other day. Do
yes.
you know why people in Greece do not like to wake up at dawn?
Why is that?
Because dawn is tough on Greece.
That's a tough thing. That's a good one. That's
You're
a good one,
welcome.
Papa.
I saw that somewhere on the
Stupid.
interwebs, and I said, you know what? That's just cute enough.
I'll tell that to my grandkids.
Cool, man. Other
Yeah.
than that, man, yeah, just working this thing, and
Hmm.
uh, we started it a day early because they gave us some samples to try out. We had enough samples to go, hey, you know what? Let's start it today. We went in for the appointment and bought all the stuff that we need for I think the next maybe month and a half.
Hmm.
It's a little pricey, but you know what? I'm not blowing that money at the grocery store.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So,
Exactly.
and I want to feel better, man. I want to look better. I want to feel better, and I'd like to honestly get back to working out, but I
Sure.
can't. I can't do it comfortably in this frame. Not with
Good
my
deal.
not with this much weight on my back and my knees and stuff. So,
Right.
but yeah, man. Other than that, what have you been listening to, dude?
Well, dude, tons of stuff. So, let's see. Have you ever heard the band called the Wild Hearts?
I think I have, but I can't say that I've heard anything from them.
Okay. So, this kind of ties into news a little bit, but um, there's a guy, the lead singer, excuse me, called Ginger Wildheart. He come up in my Twitter feed and said, basically he just got diagnosed with a real aggressive version of cancer.
Oh man.
And um and so, he said, oh, I'm not going to pursue any treatment or anything like that. I've still got 2 or 3 years and I'm just going to continue to kick ass. So I'm like, all right, well, who is this dude? And so I started listening to uh, their first album, was really impressed with the first album. Then I noticed that they just released an album last year. Listened to that, and I was like, man, these guys are really flipping good. And they've been around for over 30 some odd years. So really, really excited about, listening to more of the Wild Hearts. Um, let's see, listen to a lot of Super Suckers, and we'll tell you more about that. Uh, the new Black Crows album that just came out, A Pound of Feathers, been listening to that too. Really good. Really
O-
good.
Okay.
hmm And then last but not least, I picked up a for those who don't know, Bear Family Records is a record company in Germany that they kind of they have always done a great job at putting together box sets and special edition CDs and stuff of different like country artists and just different people. Well, anyway, I happened to pick up a two it's two 6 CD box sets of Waylon Jennings. This first one is called Destiny's Child. Then the next one is called
Six Streets Away.
that's right.
That's nice.
So in each box set, it's 6 CDs, close to 200 songs, and a 60-page book written by Lenny Kaye, who was his official biographer, great musician on his own. And I've had the pleasure of meeting him, but just great stories, you know, and all that. Lots of detail in this book. So, and then just show you this real quick.
Nice. So let
Yeah,
me ask you something. What are you listening to CDs on?
my CD player
Do you have a
at,
like a big
at home.
stereo CD player hooked up
Uh-huh.
to your stereo system?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Is it a disc changer or just a single?
Disc change, 5 disc.
5 disc? Nice, nice.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, pick these up. Um, and man, what a hell of a deal. A lot of outtakes and some actual studio recordings and just again, almost 200 songs each box set.
Nice.
And so like if you're a true Wayland fan like I am, this is a must have. Must have for your
Was it
collection.
pretty good price?
Yes.
Good, good. I
Very
love that.
nice. hmm
I
What
love that.
yeah, man. What about you?
Well, I have been in honor of him going to dealing with some court stuff. I have been jamming a little bit of Afro Man. He's dealing with some court stuff right now, and I kind of keep an eye on that character. He does kind of crack me up. I do dig that dude. I think he's a character, man.
And
But
he's a proud Ohioan, Adams County.
and he is a proud Ohioan. Um, but I'll tell you, I was I listened to your album last night, and I've been finding myself with how busy that I've been. That Monday nights I take after everybody goes to bed and I get settled in. I come up here and I sit and I listen to your album. So I have the night time to listen to it. The day's washed off of me and I can
hmm
kind of really put some focus into it. And when I get done with that, you know, I want to seek out a little bit more music, which, Monday nights become a really kind of a bit of a dive night for me, depending on how late I'm up reviewing the album. Well, I stumbled across a band called Rotten Soil last night, and they just released an album called I Worship Death. This is a great death metal album release for this year. I could not stop listening to it. Um, Made me seek out a little bit more from these guys.
Mhm.
And I'm probably going to pick up both their albums. And they may even have a couple singles. Um, a lot of people were kind of referencing them to a band like Dismemberment and whatnot. But I just think it's really good death metal. And then I, because you had me in a bit of a jazz mind frame with this Billie Holiday album, and it kind of give that noir feeling. Um, I decided to do some digging around on some of my guys that I like to really listen to, and I found one of the members. I can't remember his name right offhand, but one of the members of the Mount Fuji Doom Jazz Corporation, as well as the a member of the Kilimanjaro Dark Jazz Ensemble. He's got an, a a project that he's working on that's in the same vein, and it's very dark jazz related, but they're called the Lovecraft Sextet. I'm going to give you these dudes at some point in time, but I just haven't decided what I'm going to give you yet.
Mm.
I think you're going to kind of dig this stuff, but it reminds me of Bourne. I know that you dig Bourne, um, but they were there's an album, I want to say it's called Horror Cosmic, that they did, and it's basically the soundtrack to a book that or story that the cat wrote.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So the music goes along with this stuff, and there's actually on Bandcamp there's a audio book that's narrated of this story, not by the writer himself, but by another person to narrate it. And it's very Lovecraftian, like it should be. But over on Bandcamp, it's a pay what you want for that item itself.
Okay.
So I put $5 on it and bought two other albums. I was really happy to do that. If I pick up anything else from them, I'll maybe tip a couple more extra bucks or something like that. I really, really, really dig this stuff. And I was up kind of late last night listening to that. Been listening to some Death Angel, thinking about going to see them at the King of Clubs. I haven't sold myself on the idea just yet. Scott's trying to get me to go out to the Voivod show on Monday, and I love Voivod, but I'm not feeling it right now. You know what I mean? Just not feeling about being around a bunch of people right now.
Hmm.
So other than that, man, that's pretty much it. Was listening to a little bit of Midnight and um man, who else? Fucking I've I've been taking in some music this week, but this next week is going to be I'm going to do some serious deep diving with the Super
Hmm.
Soakers. Because I did dig that last album, but with what's getting ready to come up, I want to be prepared. So,
That's right.
yep. Other than that, man,
Yeah, dude. Well, what are you drinking?
tonight I am drinking the finest of bottled water from Sam's Club. I ain't drinking anything particular tonight, alcohol wise, because of the program. Uh, Basically, the general gist of the program is it's going to throw you in ketosis, a mild ketosis, and alcohol and shit like that could mess it up. So I'm uh I'm not trying to sway from that.
There you go. Well, I'll just have a shot for the both of us then.
Well, I will
Uh,
tell you this:
mm,
before you have that shot,
hmm.
I received a wonderful gift from a friend of mine
Okay.
in the mail, and when I come back and I do decide to have a drink, I'll share it on the air. But I landed a bottle of the Tears of La Llorona tequila, which is a very high-end tequila. And I have tasted a lot of tequilas as well as bourbons in my life.
Oh
And I
yeah.
can tell you that bar none, I have never tasted another tequila like this. And it is the most amazing tequila I have ever drank in my entire life. There's nothing that even comes close. I had high expectations for the bottle, but
Hmm.
I've had high expectation bottles really let me down. This far exceeded my expectations.
Nice.
Yeah. If you come up, I'll make sure you get a taste.
There you go. All right. Well, from Ireland itself, made in Ireland. This is a repeat offender on the show. This is Shanky's Whip, made in Ireland and distilled, I think.
Then Irish whiskey.
Hmm. It is. This is distilled from whey, and there we go. There we go.
Cheers.
Man, oh man, that is good shit. Smooth going down, a little burn at the end, but my God, you can get in trouble with this.
What's your favorite
S-
Irish whiskey?
Right now, this it's
Mine's
got a what is
mine's
it?
Bushmills.
There you go. What I love about this, it almost has like a coffee or caramel finish. And I'm telling you, you can get in some trouble with this thing. You just, bloop, bloop, bloop.
Oh, I'm sure.
But
What's the proof on it?
I believe my old eyes. Hold on, tell you, 86.
That's about what that Tears of Rona is.
Yeah. Let's see. Shanky's Whip is whipped together in Ballyboro, Ireland. So
Nice.
check it out. Mm, that would be really good on the rocks.
And that's a what?
Hmm?
What are we rating that?
Oh, that's a 5, dude. That's
Nice.
that's fantastic. I might have
Nice.
me another one.
Sweet. Well, while you have another one, I'll go ahead and start spreading some news. Uh, I got to tell you, man, I am very pumped for this year as far as
Mm,
releases to come. Catching that I Worship Death album from uh, uh, I just mentioned him just a second ago. Rotten Soil or whatever. They that was a nice find by accident, but new Mono Lord's coming supposedly soon. New Ohm has been still in the works. Uh, New Jungle Rock, man. If you're not paying attention to what's going on over the Jungle Rock camp over at fucking Facebook, they are releasing pictures of pieces of the album cover, and it's looking amazing. So hopefully we get the announcement of a tour of a date. We've got the name of the album, but we need what's the release date? Propane just released another single off their upcoming album. Very much so looking forward to that. Um, there is a lot in the works, man. Um, I know that Power Trip is supposed to be working on a new album soon. Um, there's a lot in the works, man. And we're running into uh, festival shows. Uh,
hmm.
I understand that Acid Bath just played in Cleveland last night with
That's
Radiant,
right.
Midnight, and I can't remember who else was on the bill right offhand. But
One of our good listeners, Mike, he just went and seen that show. So,
yeah,
hmm.
yeah. So I'm sure he had a good time. I saw, I've seen video footage of some of the show, and it looked like one of the cats from Midnight sacrificed a chicken on stage with his bass and smashed his bass. I don't know if you've seen that yet, but
No.
if I run across it on Facebook, I'm going to send it to you. Like it just screams I'm spreading salmonella all over the freaking place. Like, it's not good,
Nice.
dude.
That's what we need.
It's not good, dude. It freaked me out a little bit, but it's entertainment. Um, other than that, man, the passing of Phil
Mm-hmm.
um
From Motorhead.
from Motorhead, man, that's gosh, that's
Very
yeah,
instrumental in the sound.
he,
That
like
Motorhead man. All around
man,
great guy. The
yeah.
amount of love that's been pouring in from the rock community.
Did it
Um,
was he part of Fastway as well?
maybe.
Uh, Phil. Um, Give me a second here. I want to say he went off and founded uh, Phil Taylor.
Mm,
No, was it Phil Taylor? No, it was Fast Eddie Clark who went and did Fastway,
okay.
and it was part of that phenomenal lineup. Um, Give me a second here. Yeah, it doesn't look like he did any of the stuff with Fastway. But yeah, dude, it's it's sad, man. It's I sit there and said something to somebody the other day, man. Like all our heroes are passing.
Mm, for sure.
Yeah, all our heroes are passing, dude.
Yep. Did you also see where Sanguisugabog released their or
Well,
parted
I
ways with
parted
their guitar
ways with
player?
their guitar player, yeah. But I think those guys are going to be doing Phil Campbell, dude. Phil Campbell.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, seminal in their sound. Let's, you know,
Yeah, but
Motorhead.
Sanguisugabog
I
got rid of
was,
Cedric.
yeah.
Cedric Davis.
I wouldn't say they got rid of him, dude. I think he's going off to. It sounded from what I read online. Maybe he's going to, take some time with family.
Hmm.
And being realistic, dude, those guys just come off a pretty big run. You know, they
Yeah.
really did. I think they just got off a tour with Lamb of God. I mean, and as far as I know, they've done a lot of shows over the last few years.
Absolutely.
They've been in and out of the states. I mean, they've had a lot going on. They've released a new album, you know, but sometimes, I never get upset about seeing guys that want to go back home and take care of family, you know,
Yeah.
or go get their heads right or whatever. Sometimes they have to step away from it all, man. I know a lot of people, that they can't handle that whole lifestyle. You know what I mean?
It's a lot.
It's a lot. But you got anything else in the news?
Yeah, a couple little things. Let's see. Jello Biafra, the former lead singer of the Dead Kennedys,
Saw that.
s- suffered a pretty significant stroke. Um, he is making a little progress, but his he needs all the support that everyone can give him. Let's see. Let me look here. Korn announced first European and UK tour in over a decade.
Yeah.
Oh, Tony, I know you're a giving person. Do you happen to have $2 million I can borrow? It's for a good cause.
Dude, I didn't even want to bring this up. I think it's just
Oh, I was going to bring it up.
utterly ridiculous. Utterly
Our
ridiculous.
our favorite mental patient.
Jesus, dude, where on earth does one get the audacity?
And if you read the details, basically he's wanting $2 million so you can distribute his album, but he has final say over everything. He wants you to distribute his album for him, and you pay him $2 million for that privilege. Make it make sense.
This is why drugs are bad, people.
There's something wrong with him.
There is something wrong. I don't know. First of all, let me get this straight. I imagine, sir, you're not outperforming. You're
He is
really
not.
you're really not in the public eye. You were a small piece of rock and roll history and weren't that significant of a piece of rock and roll history.
Careful now.
Dude,
He did save Kiss.
he saved Kiss.
Absolutely.
Uh, I don't know about all that, dude.
He so
Listen,
he had the
listen.
biggest co-writes in their of the some of the three biggest albums of their history, or among the three biggest: Creatures of the Night, Lick It Up, and Revenge.
No,
Yes.
no. Dude, it's still a hard pass for me, dude. First of all, listen, do you really think he can play as good as he once did? Every video I've seen of him on stage is awkward, and he looks like he's barely touching his instrument. It's
Yeah,
ve it's very scary to think that this guy went off and put together an album with who? 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 Dude, like, I'm sorry to sound like an owl, but who? Who
listen,
worked with this guy on this album that it justifies the fact that, hey, in order for you to distribute my album, and this is just distribution, and no matter what the distribution is, I still have final say so over it. If I don't want you distributing it to Walmart, you don't get to distribute it to Walmart. If I don't want you distributing it to the local record store because the guy, you know, called me a name on his podcast,
yeah.
where do you get the audacity in this climate, dude? That somebody's going to go, okay, I've got $2 million laying around. I'm going to chance this dude who hasn't been in the public spotlight worth a shit.
And quite frankly, he doesn't have a good track record of keeping up with
No,
his end of bargains.
no.
He just doesn't.
Why would you risk it? This dude is a liability.
Yes.
And I don't mean to curse so much, guys. I don't mean to, but this is one of those individuals so talented. He is very, very talented. I'm never
Mhm.
going to take that away from the guy. But does that talent still reside within his playing now? Not that I've bared witness to in any recent video footage. Any video footage as of late.
Yeah.
Okay. Number one. Number two, if this is his album, who played drums? Who played bass? Is the
Supposedly,
is there a
suppose
vocalist?
supposedly Robert Fleischman worked on at least a few tracks. The original singer off Vinnie Vincent Invasion, but uh, that fell apart again. So
Because he don't hold relationships, dude.
no, he does not.
He doesn't hold relationships. And
And
I don't know what his mental is. Does he think that Kiss owes him something after all this time and that he should have been being a multimillionaire like they are? Dude, you were on three seminal albums. I get that. Much respect to you. Great. Okay. But you weren't, you took away from the spotlight of Gene and Paul. And I'm sorry, that's not something you do. Eric
not
Carr,
not for
Eric
long.
Eric Carr didn't step in and take the spotlight away from Gene and Paul. He did his own thing, and
Yep.
he served the songs, and served them very well.
Oh, he's
I,
phenomenal.
he was phenomenal at it, dude. You know, but at the
Oh,
end of the day, you came in and you were even wilder than Ace.
it, different, just different.
Yeah. So $2
Um,
million, dude, no, that's a
yep.
hard pass for me. And if you and Chuck want to go out and work on that, then you guys, good luck to you.
Hey, I'm just saying, Wes is a huge Vinnie Vincent fan. Maybe Wes can chip in too.
I
We
don't.
can we can all distribute it. Wes, let us know.
You know what? Here's the thing.
Hmm.
You know how ignorant this dude is? He needs to go out there on Bandcamp and put the album out. Put it on Bandcamp.
Dude, he was wanting to charge $200 a single.
I don't give a shit. Put it on Bandcamp. If you feel so confident in your work, charge more than anybody else is averaging, and now even on a digital release,
Hmm.
anywhere between usually $7 to 15. That's the normal, right? If you think it's worth so much, prove it. Sell it for double. Sell it for $30. Sell it for $30. See how many copies you sell. And then if you don't want to distribute it anymore, hold it for Bandcamp. You want to put $1,000 price tag on it? Put $1,000 price tag on it at Bandcamp and find out if people are willing to do it. They're not going to do it, dude.
No,
Not in this
I
time.
don't. I don't think there was an actual album finished. I really don't.
I think it could be another one of his ploys. Pay me all
Oh,
this money up front. And by the way, since you've paid me all this money, I'll maybe distribute a little bit of money against some other people.
yeah.
I don't know, dude. It doesn't work for me. If you ask me who I can't stand the most in Kiss, it's that dude right there.
I don't know. Paul's pretty annoying. Gene's pretty annoying.
Listen,
The,
I don't disagree with you there, but at least when you deal with Gene and Paul, you know exactly what you're dealing with and why you're dealing with it that way. This guy is not Gene or Paul, dude.
no,
He's
I
just not, dude. And Vinnie Vincent Invasion, I can't name one Vinnie Vincent Invasion song.
always got to rock. Come
Don't
on.
care. Don't care.
Oh, our boys are gonna rock. Sorry.
No, don't care.
Ears.
Don't care. Don't care. Not a fan.
All right. Well,
Now, I was a fan of, I think, what was a singer of his at one point in time when he went off and did his own thing, Mark Slaughter.
yeah, it's Slaughter.
Yeah,
Well, that was all of Vinnie Vincent Invasion was Slaughter.
really.
Did pretty up pretty much.
The whole lineup was Vinnie Vincent Invasion,
I think except for like one guy.
who obviously would come in and play lead guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Anyways, that's the way the cookie crumbles, and that's the news.
That's all right. Oh shit. Good
Benny.
stuff.
Who's up this week?
Let's see. I think I went first last week.
Okay. So we are rounding out
Mm-hmm.
our Women's History Month because we have an
Mm-hmm.
interview next week.
Yep.
But I would like to say thank you, Bruce, for a wonderful Women's History Month and look into, you know, some of the female artists that you enjoy. I hope that you've enjoyed some of mine. But for this week, you gave me Billie Holiday, Lady in Satin. I want to say this was released in, was it 58?
57.
But this would be, I think, the album just before her final album. And as you had stated earlier, this was towards the end of her run. Vocally, she wasn't at her cleanest peak, probably. And I don't think that did any injustice to the album. So Give
Yeah.
me 1 second here.
Yeah, and just to clarify a little bit, so this Lady in Satin was the last album that was released while she was alive. There was one more album that she did that they released um afterwards, after she passed. It was originally called just Billie Holiday, and then they renamed it something else, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But there was one more album that she uh, released, but it was after she passed. So,
All right. Well, so I want to go ahead and preface the information here. I said this is a comfortable evening album or while listening to the rain outside. That's
mm,
really kind of the vibe that it gave me. And the this is a very whimsical jazz thing. I think that some of, if not the majority of these songs, could be covers or were written by other artists. Is there a possibility of that? I can't remember for sure. But I saw writing credits from other individuals, such as Sinatra on one of these. Um, but I don't know the validity of that just yet, and I'm sorry. Uh, Bruce may know a little bit more on that, but let me go ahead and get into the review. Track number 1. This is "I'm a Fool to Want You." I said this is a slow, mellow jazz tune, whimsy. I love the horns and her soft but frail voice. I gave this one an A. This was a nice opener, very smooth, settles you right into the album, and it sets the pace for the rest of the album because you do not come out of this slow, whimsical, soothing thing. A lot of topics of loss and love, a lot of topics of, you know, being in a couple's relationship and stuff and whatnot. There's the theme that's pretty much the theme of the album.
mhm.
So I just want to go ahead and throw that out there as well. So yeah, great opener, track number A. And to be honest with you, I was excited to get into this. Track number 2, "For Heaven's Sake." This is another slow, whimsical jazz tune, very comforting, very mellow. Vocally, she still sounds solid. Um, Throughout this, you're going to hear some rasp in some of her voice, which I think it really kind of adds some depth and character to her tone. And
Mhm.
and I don't know if that was natural for her in her peak, but it really is well here, even if it is her voice being frail and not quite what it used to be. It still really suits the album very well. Track number 3, "You Don't Know What Love Is." Um, this track follows suit and stays the pace. And you don't know what love is until you lost is the theme. Great descriptions of loss in this song. I gave this one an A as well. I'm really, really finding that in my older years that jazz is becoming a thing for me. Um, Even if it's a little upbeat, but I do like things a little more slower, laid back, and like I said, it just makes me think about just sitting in the house spinning a record like this, listening to the rain outside.
Mhm.
Um, so once again, I gave that one an A. Track number 4, "I Get Along Without You Very Well." This is once again keeping the pace, still whimsical, slow horns and um, slow horns and bass on this are a lot of fun. There's a real playful bass tone, dum, 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 bass tune going on in these. And a couple of these songs, it's really fun, kind of a little bit bouncy, but
Mhm.
slow, really, really kind of cool here. So I gave that one an A as well. It's a banger. Track number 5, "For All We Know." Once again, this is keeping the pace, still a solid track. Puts in parts in this, her voice seems more frail in this track, especially.
Yeah.
Um, but I gave this one a B. It I don't know if it was ear fatigue setting in or there was a cadence here vocally that really wasn't sitting with me well,
Hmm.
as opposed to what I had heard on the rest of the album so far. So it kind of, it's not a horrible song by any means. It's a B. It's a great listen. It sticks with the vibe of the album, but I think there's a vocal cadence that kind of threw me off in this one. Um, Track number 6, Violets for Your Furs. This has a solid vibe, man. The vibe has a solid, uh, and it's very descriptive, man, and great storytelling in this track. It's solid, fixed and just pacing throughout this album. It's just a very mellow album with a soothing but frail voice throughout these tracks. So I gave that one an A as well. Um, You've Changed would be track number 7. This is another song about a demise in a relationship. I love the little rasp in her voice on this one. And I wanted to say, I wrote off to the side here, simple horns on this, but very, very, very effective. And that happens through a few of these songs. And there's a few of these songs I really wish I could have heard more prominent horns on, but we'll get into that. Track number 8, It's Easy to Remember. It's easy to remember, but so hard to forget. Wow. This is deeply emotional. I'd never dream that it's it's easy to remember, but so hard to forget. Deeply emotional. I'd rather dream than lose like that loving feeling. I mean, there's some heavy stuff on here. And on this track, I wrote a big star by this one. Killer horns on this track.
Hmm.
So I gave this one an A as well. Track number 9, But Beautiful. I said fatigue might have started setting in, and this almost became a B, but the horn solo on this elevated this song.
Mm.
This would have been a B because fatigue was kind of setting in and because of the pacing and whatnot, and that's fine. It happens. But there was this horn solo that just went, hold up, hold up. Oh man, yeah. So I gave this one an A as well. Track number 10, Glad to Be Unhappy. But for someone you adore, it's a pleasure to be sad. Killer horns and maybe a bassoon or something in here.
Hmm.
Almost a talking storytelling cadence vocally on this.
Hmm.
I did enjoy this one as well. It's an A. It's very understandable to see why Billie Holiday ranks high among a lot of people who enjoy this style of music. She is a phenomenal vocalist. And I honestly believe, even after listening to this album, I could pick out her vocal DNA. It's very,
Oh yeah.
very distinct. Track number 11, I'll Be Around. This is a song about love loss, but I'm here. Just drop a line to say you're feeling fine. The background horns on this settle you in comfortably. When things go wrong, perhaps you'll see you're meant for me. Who hasn't thought that getting out of a relationship sometime? One day you'll see. You'll
Hmm.
see you'll see what you missed. And maybe you'll come back. What a way to describe an emotion that doesn't get talked about much, you know? So I
Hmm.
gave this one an A as well. And this brings us to track number 12, The End of a Love Affair. This, I believe, is the longest track and final track. Another very descriptive tune, more of a talking storytelling thing going on here. Good closer to a great album. She just does some things a little too much. And if you listen to the song, you'll catch that.
Mm-hmm.
I gave this one an A as well, man.
Mm-hmm.
This was a heck of a way. I think you were stashing this on me
I
to,
was.
to know that I would give it a solid rating like I would. Um, I think you're catching into that I'm digging some jazz in my later years. Obviously, I don't know much about jazz for the most part, aside from the very few things that I do listen to, but it is becoming something that I'm seeking out a little more often. Um, I've got nothing but A's on this thing, but one B. I can do nothing but give this thing a 9.75. It is a phenomenal, phenomenal album. And even if you aren't a fan of jazz and you'd like an introduction into it, something a little slow to ease you in, this would be a great place, even though it's later in her career,
Mm-hmm.
or towards the end of her career. This would be a great place to start. I will probably be looking into a little more Billie Holiday in the future.
You absolutely should.
And I think I will. I really did enjoy this album. Solid 9.75, dude. This was an absolute banger of an album.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to try to find a way because I'm listening to, and I've got just a small piece of this jazz thing, and it's more dark ambient jazz, noir style jazz, whatever. Um, as that collection grows, I'm going to have to create my own stick for the car of, all right, it's a jazz day. We're just going to let these jazz tunes spin for the day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a phenomenal album, man. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. So let me put this to you then. I strongly recommend to you and everyone else to pick up the centennial edition of this album. It's got 3 discs, tons of outtakes. And one of the things that I love about this album in particular is there's a frailty to her voice,
Mhm.
but there's also this strength, this command that still comes through. She sounds like an old woman at times. She was only 44 and you couldn't tell. Um, she had a very rough life, but listening to the outtakes of this album, it was fascinating to hear the recording process of this because the orchestra was live in in studio while she was singing. So everyone had to be on their mark. If one person messed up, everyone did it all over again. And to hear her, like in some instances where she sings so beautifully and then something messes up and she sounds almost incoherent because she's so messed up. But when the light goes on, she figures it out. There's instances where she loses the lyrics, like she loses where she's going with it, and she tells them to stop. And she's trying to, you hear her trying to pick up the melody in her head, like how she's approaching each song. It's I cannot stress enough. Um, eh, please pick up the Centennial edition of this to really get a full picture of how this masterpiece was created because it's just amazing, just amazing artist. Um, and like I said, she died about a year after this, chained to a hospital bed.
That's a shame.
Yep, with 70 cents to her name. So amazing woman.
That's a
So,
shame.
yep. All right. on
Cuckoo.
a on a
9.75, baby.
that's right. You gave me Ruby the Hatchets. I believe it's their latest album from 2022. Fear is a Cruel Master. So, you gave me Valley of the Snake, I don't know, what, a year or two ago?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I really dug that. I actually went back to listen to Valley of the Snake to kind of compare the two. Um, just to, just kind
See
of
where
compare
see
them
where
to
the
them.
growth what where the growth
Yep,
happened. So,
yep. Let's see. This was released October 21st, 2022. 8 songs, about 41 minutes. Um, they're all based out of either New Jersey or Philadelphia. They haven't been around too long. What, 2004, I think, when they first really started catching on, about 2004. So, um, their vibe is really interesting. It's like medieval times and Black Sabbath and the 80s all wrapped up into one. You get a lot of
psychedelic.
Sabbath, a little bit,
A lot of psychedelic too, dude.
a little bit. You got, flavors of the Deep Purple. You've got obviously a lot of Sabbath in here. Um, so it's interesting. So, um, they definitely have their own style. But let's see, the track number one, The Change. Very good opener, very 80s vibe to it, in the production with like the production value and just kind of how the guitar riffs were going. Her vocals remind me a lot of Madonna. It was like the whole song reminded me of like if Madonna was singing a rock song, an 80s rock song. That's what this kind of remind me of. Said the music doesn't match the name of the band. Um, Very good guitar solo in this. There's a lot of good guitar solos in this whole album, but in this one in particular, for the change, so I gave it an A. Next up, track number two, Deceiver. Um, See, very Sabbathy, from the tone to the riff. The effects on her vocals kind of made it hard to pick up what she was saying. Phenomenal groove on this. The bass line running through the guitar solo there really added a layer of coolness that was really interesting. Again, this was so Sabbathy. This could have fit on any of those Sabbath albums for sure. I gave it an A plus. Really good song. Next up was Primitive Man. I put on here, this might be my favorite riff on the album. It's not my favorite song, but that riff was just so bizarre. It's so unique. Lot of fun on that. Um, Band is pure fire, great bass runs. Um, I can tell you now, 3 songs in, the bass player, whoever the bass player is, he is the MVP of this album. So
I don't know, man. That guitar player, man.
I
I
know.
don't know, dude. And look, they even got a great keyboard player and drummer as well. Like
Yep.
this is one of those situations where all the players are in place, dude.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, for sure, dude.
yeah. No, it's a all yeah. All the musicians are fantastic, but like where they choose to really kind of shine, um, it's just really well done. Really well done. So A plus for Primitive Man. Next up was 1,000 Years. This was a slow paced song. I like the general mood of the song, um, but it doesn't stand out as much as the previous songs. There's some great harmonizing on the verses and the choruses. It's not skippable, but it's just not as good as the previous songs. Just a different energy to it. Um, but I gave it a B. So
Still fits the vibe of the album.
yeah, it fits the vibe of the album, just not as it's not as strong. So next up we got Soothsayer, track number 5. Um, this is a starts off with a really interesting galloping bass line and then some distant jazz horns. Um, then it gets into the main riff. Again, it's a medieval galloping type vibe, solid energy, haunting delivery on her vocals. Um, really cool piece. I gave this one an A. So it, you know, they got their whatever their vibe is, they've got it down for sure. So track number 6 was Last Saga. Um, I said a dude is actually singing on this one. Vocals are much more upfront and distinct. His delivery has a lot of pain in it. It's a nice change up. Both of them end up singing verses. Um, and the best way I can describe the vibe of the song is medieval blues. Yeah, that's the best way I can describe it. It's really interesting. I gave it an A. Um, I could definitely stand to hear a little bit more of that. I liked how they traded off with each other and it blended really well. Um, track number 7, Thruster. Um, I said this kind of reminds me of a Deep Purple song, heavy organ slash keyboard and a galloping pace. Again, also has another Black Sabbath vibe. Um, this song is again, it's another song where it's good, but there's something missing where it just doesn't stand out as much for me. So Thruster's a B. It's good, just there was something not right. Um, and then finally, track number 8, uh, Amor Gravis. Terrible with Latin, by the way. That does roughly translate to love heavy or serious. Love heavy or serious. Um, I said, sadly, this is a mediocre song. Nothing really sticks out about the song other than how much it sticks out from the rest of the songs. It's definitely not a good closer. It just kind of left me confused, wondering why that one. What was the thought process behind this song? Um, it's I gave it a C. I was really disappointed in this. It I wanted to like I really wanted to like it more.
Yeah.
I was looking for anything to kind of hook me. Nothing hooked me on this. Um so really out of 8 tracks, we've got a C, a couple B's, and the rest of them are A's. Or A pluses. Again, this is the second Ruby the Hatchet album that you've given me. Um they've got their thing. They've got their style. If you like that medieval, Sabbathy, psychedelic, you know, uh, type doom stuff, this is right up your alley. There's some good energy to it. A lot of talent, ton of talent on this. Um, so all in all, even with the C, I'm still going to give this a solid. I'll give it an 8.5.
It's a banger, dude.
Because the really good songs are really good.
Really good, dude. Like, and here's the thing. I don't always expect every album that I'm going to listen to, everything's going to be a banger. I don't
Sure.
expect that, dude. But if the groove of the album's feeling you and it's grabbing you, you know what? I
Mm-hmm.
can tell you this. I've given you 2 Ruby albums.
Mm-hmm.
2.
Mm-hmm.
You've scored them over 8.
Mm-hmm.
They have wonderful album covers. Wonderful album covers. When are you going to pick up a Ruby album?
Hmm. I don't know.
You've scored them. You've scored them fairly well, dude.
I do, but I
Album
don't know.
covers are dope, dude.
They're all right. They're fine.
Valley of the Snake, Ouroboros.
Uh,
Come
well,
on.
Valley of the
Fear is a
Snake
Cool
was fine.
Master looks great. Come on, tell me those aren't
It was
cool
fine.
album covers, dude.
They're fine. They
And
didn't
and
wow me.
and the tracks are wonderful.
They're really good. My thing is, how often would I listen to this? Like, I'm not gonna go out and say, okay, I want to listen to some Ruby the Hatchet, because there's so many other things that I dig. So it's like, okay, if you played this for me, if I went to your house and like, hey, let's listen to this. Okay, great, be all for it. But I don't think I would listen. I don't think I would listen to it enough to justify buying it. But I really like it.
They're a great band, dude.
Yeah.
They're a great band. I dig them. And I would probably agree with you about right about that point with the rating.
Mhm.
I personally like I think Valley of the Snake a little bit better.
I would
Uh,
agree with you.
I think Ouroboros a little bit better. There's what's the other one that man, but I didn't want to give you it because the opening track on this one is so it's a lot. It's it's a lot, my friend. And I mean that sincerely. Um, Give me 1 second here. Planetary Space Child is the name of the album, and that first track is 6.5 minutes long.
Hmm.
Um, the closing track is 7 minutes long. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of fun and really good stuff going on in them, but you know, for me, Valley of the Snake, Ouroboros, and Planetary Space Child are probably my favorite albums. I gave you this one because it was the most recent. I wanted
Yeah.
to see what your thoughts were on it, see if it kind of lined up with mine, and they did, and they did. You're right about right where I'm at. So
Yeah.
still a good album, still a solid listen.
No, absolutely.
And I think
Also,
I think we both closed out really well for
mhm,
our Women's Month. It's fair listens.
absolutely. Real quick while I'm thinking about it, another album you should check out by Billie Holiday is called Solitude. It's a little earlier in her career. Her vocals are a little a little fresher. Um, just amazing. One of my, it's probably my second favorite um, Billie Holiday's album. So,
Cool,
but
cool.
yeah, get that Centennial Edition, everyone. Good Lord,
I may have to look into that,
you should.
but I will say
Yeah.
this: it's
Yes,
been a lot of fun.
it
Happy
has.
St. Patrick's Day to you and to
Hmm.
all our listeners and watchers out there at home.
Hmm.
Thank you guys for everything. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. It just takes a second to do that. Share it. Share us with your friends. Um, we are we're looking forward to bringing you many more shows. We're looking forward to a great interview next week.
Hmm.
Uh, so that's going to be a good time or a great conversation. I hate calling them interviews because I just enjoy the conversation.
Yep.
So other than that, Bruce, you got anything you'd like to add, man?
Yeah, let's tell everyone. So next week we are going to have Eddie Spaghetti from the Super Suckers on, hot off the great what looks to be a really great European tour. We're going to catch him kind of in the middle of tours. So we're going to talk about their latest album, which actually made my top album of last year. So talk to him all about that, and it's all kinds of stuff. So I do want to leave everyone with an Irish blessing, if I may. Here we go. Uh, May those who love us, and those who don't love us, may God turn their hearts. And if he can't turn their hearts, may he turn their ankles. I love it.
I don't know where you come up with this stuff sometimes, but I
I
like it.
didn't make it up.
With that being said, it's been a
Hmm.
pleasure hanging out with you all this evening. Bruce, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you. Thank you for
Always.
a wonderful Women's History Month. I had a really good time with this one.
Hmm.
And when we come off of Eddie Spaghetti's episode, and
Hmm.
I think I've got some things lined up for you to listen to. Hopefully, Eddie gives us a really nice album to listen to.
Yeah.
with that being said, we appreciate each and every one of you once again.
Mhm.
I'm Tone,
I'm Bruce.
and we're Hooked on Sonics, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.